Chinese heavyweight Zhilei Big Bang Zhang battled to a 10-round majority draw against Jerry Forrest on the Canelo Yildirim undercard. Zhang actually dropped Forrest once in the first, was it? Second, then in the third. In fact, let me look at the fight here. Yeah, Forrest was down in rounds 1, 2, and 3. Zhang lost 1 point for holding in round 9. And early doors, it looked like it was going to be a blowout for Zhang because he was landing clean and he was landing some heavy-handed looking shots on Jerry Forrest. Forrest sprung up from the canvas on each occasion as if to emphasize that the fight wasn't over, as if to show people and show himself that it was just a flash knockdown. They certainly weren't flash knockdowns. Some of them were very heavy. But Forrest sprang up off the canvas with plenty of fight, hunger, and determination, and that's admirable. At no point during the fight, even after suffering the heaviest of knockdowns, did Jerry Forrest lose heart or go into survival mode or anything like that. Quite the opposite. After some of them knockdowns, he jumped off the canvas and he went straight into Zhang, attacking him. So you gotta admire Jerry Forrest's heart and determination, and he showed that throughout the contest. Now, Zhang was an Olympian. He actually lost to Anthony Joshua in the 2012 London Olympics. But at 37 or 38 years of age, his time has probably come and gone in terms of his prime, right? I'm not saying that he could have ever scaled the heights of the heavyweight division and become a champion as such, but if he was ever going to do anything, you would imagine he would have done it during his prime years, and that would have been, what, at least 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago? He's 37, and he looks maybe even older than 37. I'm not questioning his age, but he does look like an old man in there, in boxing terms. And he fought like an old man, because in the first few rounds, yeah, he had Forrest down several times. But after that, he faded very, very badly in the mid rounds and towards the back end of the fight, where Forrest had him staggered on a couple of occasions and looked like he may have been on the brink of dropping him or stopping him a couple times. Forrest landed some wicked body shots in the middle of the fight in particular, and I think they had an effect on Zhang. But there's also the psychological effect of dropping a guy 3 times, hitting him with your best shots, but he keeps getting back up and coming at you. If you've never had somebody do that to you before, it can be a bit jarring mentally. Like, what have I got to do to stop this guy? Because you exert energy when you're hitting a guy with your best shots. And for him to keep getting back up and then coming at you, showing no fear or intimidation despite the fact you hit him with your best punches. Again, some fighters, especially if it's new to them, it can be discouraging to see an opponent do that. And that's what Jerry Forrest did. So kudos to him for showing plenty of heart, pushing Zhang to the limit down the stretch, and coming out with a draw. And it was quite amusing because Jerry Forrest celebrated the draw as if it was a win. But then again, if you've been dropped 3 times in a fight in a 10-rounder, you probably would be happy with a draw, right? Because that's like the worst possible start you could have, is getting dropped 3 times. So yeah, he was very happy with the draw. Zhang was probably relieved because Forrest really won, I want to say, the majority of the rounds in the second half of the fight, if not all of them. So Zhang obviously was holding on for dear life at the end. He was trying not to get stopped. So he was definitely relieved when it was all over and would have taken that draw and said, okay, I got away with one there. Quite amusingly, Jerry Forrest was calling out Anthony Joshua after the fight. I mean, you got a long way to go before you get that opportunity, bro. I mean, if I just look at Jerry Forrest's record here, he has already lost to Carlos Takam. I think that might have been the first time I saw Jerry Forrest fight, was when he fought Takam. And that was the fight before he fought Zhang. That was last year. And that was a 10-round UD loss to Takam. Takam was impressive to me in that fight. He was bouncing around the ring all over the place. He also lost to Jermaine Franklin. He lost that on a split decision over 10. He lost to Michael Hunter a long time ago. That was back in 2014, a UD over 8. He was actually stopped, knocked out in 2 rounds by Gerald Washington, of all people, back in 2013. And yeah, those were all his losses. But a draw with Zhang, an admirable, courageous performance, but he hasn't done anything close to what you would need to do in order to warrant a world heavyweight title shot in the current heavyweight picture, because there are so many fighters, so many good fighters who are coming up. There are so many, contenders who want to challenge for the world heavyweight title. You got Dylan White, Povetkin, you got the Hrgoviches of the world, you got the Joe Joyces, you got the Michael Hunters and Usyk and all these kind of people. Where does Jerry Forrest fit into that picture? You see what I'm saying? So he's going to need to actually have a couple fights against more top 10 guys and actually get some wins rather than just a draw. And if he can manage to do that, then maybe he can be a dark horse. He's certainly got the heart for it, can bang a little bit. Maybe he can, be one of these fringe contenders that manages to get picked as a voluntary for some champion in the future, particularly as the belts inevitably become fragmented after the undisputed fights. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below about Jerry Forrest's performance against Zhilei Zhang, aka the Big Bang, which is quite an amusing nickname for him. And let me know what you think about Zhang as well. I haven't seen anything of Zhang to really get me excited that he can do anything in the heavyweight division. He can obviously bang a bit, but he seems pretty rudimentary. He seems slow, and the stamina doesn't seem to be there. Yeah, he was able to hold on against Jerry Forrest, so I guess he's got some survival skills, but he didn't get dropped, so we didn't see him in a proper crisis. To me, there's nothing really there at the moment that I can really get excited about with Zhilei Zhang. But let me know what you guys feel in the comments if you feel any different to me.